The Walt Disney Company is getting ready to reset Star Wars and send us on yet a new adventure in a new era following the flop of The Mandalorian and Grogu. Could it be leading all to Luke Skywalker and his merry bunch of friends? They will tell you why it's back to the same old again, and Disney searching desperately for a win. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we continue to give you what you need to know before the drive-bys get a whiff, a sniff of what it is we're about to say. So, for our journalists out there, grab your jumbo pencils. It's time. Lauren Connor is joining us. He is the guru of all things Star Wars. Lauren, how are you on this very happy Monday?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Having a great one. And Lauren, it's even better because we're together yet again to join in the frivolity of Star Wars post-failure Mando. Are you ready to go, Lauren?
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, click that like button. Here we go. And wouldn't you know it, Lauren, they never want to give us credit. They never, ever. I don't know what it is with these people that you would think sometime they would say, you know, that pro, he's just our pal. He's our amigo. But they never say it. Bespin Bulletin, the future of Star Wars has leaked via a Disney document. One film, 2 shows a year. It says the future of Star Wars live-action storytelling has been outlined in a leaked document. From how many films and shows will release each year to AI usage, there's a lot to take a look at. Reputable Hollywood insider Jeff Schneider has published mandates from Disney for Lucasfilm that in his latest newsletter, the journalist was provided with a 19-page document that outlines the House of Mouse's intentions for Lucasfilm and Star Wars. We'll be taking a look at all the relevant parts of the newsletter in regards to a galaxy far, far away. Now, Lauren, this, we believe, came from when the executives at Disney, just as soon as Josh D'Amaro had taken over as CEO, flew all the way up to San Francisco, got out of their little plane, hopped a bus, hopped a train, hopped a car, whatever, and went to the Bay to where Lucasfilm is. This is not an easy thing for them to do, to take all of the executives, but all of the executives went. And here's what we need. It says, with Lucasfilm now being co-run by Dave Filoni, any project is said to have to fit under his storytelling framework. Yeah, nope. Yeah, obviously I almost said a naughty word. Pro doesn't do that. But no crap, Sherlock. That's what I wanted to say. But Dave Filoni, okay. Dave Filoni. He's the boss, and he's being told what to do by Disney. So, of course, everybody's got to do what they're told to do, and he's being told what to do. The direction is for all of the Disney Plus live-action shows to continue to be set within the New Republic era. Now, this is what matters so much, and this is where we're going to go with this, because, folks, we've been talking about this leak, and this seems to line up exactly, Lauren, with what we've had to say. I'm very curious your thoughts about it, because we had heard that they're going to use the World Between Worlds to reset the timeline, send off the sequel trilogy into its own thing, and if they do that, it basically means the place you go for Star Wars and Lucasfilm, Lauren, is where we thought it should always go. Master Jedi Luke, Princess Leia, Han Solo, they're winners, they're adventurers, you know, they've conquered and there's a new enemy and all that kind of stuff. So, Lauren, pour one out, if you would, sir. Pour one out for The Acolyte Season 2, because it is no more. This leak proves it. Lauren, we can bury The Acolyte. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no Acolyte. Somebody tell Manny Jacinto he can stop. Leslie, you can stop throwing rocks at Josh D'Amaro's house. Stop it. You've broken 3 windows already. There is no Acolyte Season 2, Lauren. Pour it out for The Acolyte. Go ahead, sir.
I'm sure there will be many, many devastated people that are just weeping.
Many.
I have a lot of thoughts about this. I've actually been thinking about this for a few days.
That's good. That's why you're here, Lauren. If you had 0 thoughts, we would not have you on the show today.
I'm a little unsure what to feel about this. On the one hand, one of the things that they said in that document is that they're looking to experiment with tone and style, which I think is a tacit recognition that the tone and style of what they've been doing has not been working. So they've given themselves some wiggle room, a little bit of hopefully creator freedom is what I hope that means. I hope it means a little less top down, this is what thou shalt do, and more, you take this story and make it your own and see what we can make of it.
Let me ask you about that real quick, Lauren, because I think this is going to be lost on a lot of people. And the drive-by journalists are listening. Now, not you folks. You're great. You're groovy. You're smart. But the drive-bys, they need help through this. So, Lauren, just so everybody gets the emphasis on this. Okay? Right syllable. Lauren, this is a document, allegedly, that has been leaked to Snyder. This is a document that was delivered from the CEO of Disney to Lucasfilm. This is not Dave Filoni's agenda. This is not Dave Filoni saying, we're going to do this. This is Disney executives being savvy enough, the CEO of the company believing this is important enough to say, you will stay in the New Republic era.
So I'm going to speculate a little bit here based on what it says. And the way that I read it was that this is coming from a market research firm.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
And I think that what they have done is they've looked at all the commentary online. They've listened to what fans and the casuals have been saying, and they are targeting a couple of different things. One thing that I think is wise is they are choosing to focus on a singular era. They're not wanting to jump around to lots of different places. I think that's probably wise.
And Acolyte is done. And we're not joking. We're not laughing. Just that's not a joke. It's done.
Yes, and besides that, I think one of the reasons that that's important is that something that has incensed the fan base more than anything else is when you jump into the past and you try to add something in, or worse, twist something that already existed. That's a surefire way to make people that are familiar with the lore very unhappy.
So we're going to leave that alone. Okay. Yep.
Yes, so they're working in what amounts to essentially a blank slate period. However, they are not explicitly saying the sequel trilogy is gone, and that's one of the things that gives me pause.
You're right.
Now,
you're right. Can you imagine? Hold on a second, Lauren. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Disney's not that. Listen, they're savvy enough to know we're not going to write that explicitly out in the document. Right? Can you imagine? Because they know this kind of stuff can leak. But I wonder, Lauren, when they delivered this and they said it's going to be all New Republic, it's going to be change of tone. I wonder if Josh, or it wasn't Dana, but I wonder if Josh tomorrow pulled Filoni, grabbed him by the shoulder, pulled him over and said, hey, this whole Reylo thing, this whole sequel trilogy thing, Kathleen Kennedy, moving on.
Well, it's normal in both movie houses and in TV production studios that when the old boss leaves, the new boss usually doesn't want to have anything to do with the projects that the old boss had. So there is precedent for that in the industry. One of the things that I think is interesting is if you look at The Mandalorian and Grogu, something that they did in that movie, if you want to call it a movie, if you don't, that's fine. But they did not portray the New Republic as incompetent. And that's something that they have been doing in all of the other storytelling, including in The Mandalorian.
Okay, I want to ask you about that, though, Lauren, because I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm very interested in the fact that this was delivered. I assume that Josh D'Amaro and the team at Disney had seen The Mandalorian Grogu. Mm-hmm. Okay, this was when they appeared very close to release. I'm assuming they've seen it, and I'm assuming, based on that, my expectation is that this document is actually also a response to Mandalorian Grogu. And so when they say, we're going to change the tone, I think they mean they're going to change the tone for Mando as well. Like, we're going to, bigger stakes. Like when they say bigger stakes in that leak, when they say that, we're going to have bigger stakes, it's going to be special again, it's going to be epic again. I think they're saying, we're not doing this anymore. We're not doing small miniature stories. Like Star Wars has to be huge.
Actually, I disagree.
Okay, tell me why.
Because I think that they keep trying to make great big galaxy-ending storylines. That's what they did in the saga films that Disney was responsible for. And their way of making things bigger is we've got an even bigger Death Star. We've got
that whole thing was terrible.
We've got an even more enormous Imperial fleet. We've got an Emperor Plus.
Oh, you want 1 million ships? We got 1 billion ships, and we'll CGI them all for JJ.
And that's not actually the secret. What you actually need to do is make smaller, more intimate films that have character stakes. You have to have characters that have relationships and backgrounds, and you have to care about them. They have to have flaws that they overcome. They have to be put in legitimate peril, either physical or spiritual, in some way that they have to overcome to defeat whatever the obstacle is. Smaller, I think, is the key. The third thing that I think is most interesting about this document, assuming that it's legitimate, is what they're saying is one film, which is going to be a Skywalker saga film, and two shows that are more in line of what The
Wait a minute.
Mandalorian.
Hold on now. Lauren, how do we do a Skywalker saga film if it's in the New Republic and Rey's not around yet? Whoa, Lauren, are we making our way to the scoop that we released months ago, and nobody wants to give poor little Pro the credit? Is that what we're going towards here?
I'm not prepared to say that yet,
Okay.
but it is significant that they are saying that they want to have a Skywalker saga film, whether that means actual Skywalker or the Pretender.
Lauren, if it's in the New Republic, how would they have it be about Rey?
The New Republic still exists in the First Order era. That is also part of the New Republic era. It depends.
I didn't realize that. So you're saying the sequel trilogy takes place in the New Republic era? Because I thought that was not true.
No, it does. The New Republic exists. It's just not a competent government. So that's kind of where my trepidation is that it's the New Republic era is still in that era, unless you want to call that the First Order era.
I do, because I don't want to go back to Rey. I like Daisy Ridley, but
they have not ruled that out. The more interesting part to me about this, though, besides the Skywalker saga film that they want to do each year, is the two series that they do, the TV shows. I think that they are starting to adopt the strategy that we have sort of recommended, which is that they don't want to do spin-off films anymore. They are so gun-shy on the spin-off films. I actually think that's a tragedy, but they're making a smart move in that they want to have new characters that are created in a TV medium. It gives them room to play and see what characters hit, what don't, and then if they do hit, they could be elevated and crossed into the films. This is a way that they can introduce the next generation's characters in a smart way that is, let's say, less financially risky, and allows the audience to have input into what should be elevated to make it to the screen. That is a smart move. That's something that we've been advocating for a while. So if this document is legitimate, that is the one golden hope that I have of these mandates.
Okay, so I agree on everything you've said. I do want to clarify that those shows can be animated.
Yes.
So there is no guarantee that these are big shows. These could be very cheaply made animated things or anthologies or whatever. There's no guarantee that there's a live action. It could be every other year you get a live action series. But here's the thing, Lauren. I think the fact that we reported the rumor that we had heard from a very trusted source days later, like 3 days later, without our knowledge, the Disney execs go over and deliver this demand for Lucasfilm, this directive that they have to follow. They don't plan that with Filoni. This is not some sort of work product that they workshop together. They flew this sucker over. They hand delivered it from the top brass at Disney. That's impressive. And they also, Lauren, put in the original trilogy characters in Galaxy's Edge as soon as Kathleen Kennedy was gone.
Mm-hmm.
The Star Wars land. They brought the John Williams music in. They reset the timeline for the land that they brought, and that's permanent. And so, Lauren, it seems to me that if you love money, and I think they love money, it seems to me that Jedi Master Luke setting up the Jedi Temple with his little Padawans, and don't mention Kylo, would make an awful lot of money. And I think that their friends and the toy companies would love them. I think the people who make towels would love them to have beach towels with Luke Skywalker on it. The cereal companies, I bet McDonald's would say, please give us Luke Skywalker. We want him on our boxes. We'll put him on the Kellogg's. So, Lauren, it's just a question of, do they like money or not?
There's an additional question there, which is that if you're going to do that, how are you going to do it? Is it going to be animated the way that you suggest, which I think would be a mistake? or are you going to recast, which is risky? And right now, I think they're very risk averse. I think they've still got a bunch of things that they need to figure out, and they don't have a lot of time to do it. They have to have some kind of announcements for Star Wars Celebration next year.
I think they recast, and I think they better do it. I mean, they need to knock it out of the park.
One starting place that I would offer, if anybody at Lucasfilm is listening, go to Carrie Fisher's daughter for Leia. She looks like her. I cannot remember her name off the top of my head, but she has already expressed
Billy Lord. Lauren,
Billy Lord. That's correct.
This is the one time, folks. I want you to clip this. I want you to save it. This is the one and only time Pro has ever known a Star Wars factoid that Lauren could not recall. The only time this has happened in the history. 3.5 years me and this man have been together doing this, and he always knows. He always, I feel so victorious. I knew something.
I would say go to Billy Lord. I would also advocate. I think you got gun shy after Solo for the wrong reasons. Keep Alden Ehrenreich. I think you can keep. I'm gonna.
I mean, I know he's not doing anything else, but still.
I think that you can keep Donald Glover. You got to figure out all the rest of it, though. You know, there's a very big chance that the fan base is not going to be happy with that either. So whatever you choose to do, you got one shot and one shot exactly. You better make sure that this one counts. One final thing that I would say, and that is that we left this out of the timeline. We know that the Disney execs came and they had a meeting with Dave Filoni. We are assuming that this document was what was delivered at that meeting.
Well, and Lauren, too, we need to say, they could have done a Zoom call. They could have done, they've got all kinds of video conferencing abilities. They could have handled this in a phone call. This was important enough that they delivered this document. They all got on a plane. They flew to Lucasfilm, and we don't know. We know what's in the document that Snyder has leaked out. We don't know what was said that they thought was so, close to the vest. But this mattered all the way up to Wall Street. Wall Street said, hey, we're going to fix this in the first 2 weeks of Josh D'Amaro being CEO of Disney. You're going to all fly out there and hand deliver this. And you're going to address some other stuff that's too spicy to put in paper.
There's one other thing that happened after that meeting. The following week, Dave Filoni met with Jon Favreau.
Yep, that's true. And I'll throw you one more. So the other thing is, we now know that Hayden Christensen has been signed to multiple Star Wars projects. Now, he's a live action guy, obviously, right? If he's signed on, Lauren, to multiple projects, and all of those projects have to be in the New Republic era, I think the scoop's on the money. I don't see how you have him unless we're just going to do flashbacks for the fun of it.
Let's also state for the record that Ahsoka Season 2 is still happening. And that means that portion at least remains canon. So does everything that's happened in The Mandalorian so far. We know that Anakin is going to appear in Ahsoka Season 2. Do with that what you will.
And we know that Brendan Wayne, the guy who plays Mandalorian most of the time, sorry, it's not Pedro, seems to think his job security is just fine. And that makes me wonder, is Mando going to get thrown into something because he can't carry his own movie, he can't carry his own show? But maybe he's getting thrown into whatever this crossover event is that does what we've said it'll do. Yep. Lauren, have we done a decent job? Did we get everything right this time?
I sure hope so. I guess the audience will let us know.
All right. And I knew something this time. 3.5 years. It'll be 4.5 next time. All right, folks, it's your time. Click that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Lauren, I hung out with Echo Base Network and all of their fans at ICC-Con. I was a surprise appearance kind of guy. I did not realize that people had missed me saying, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It's a thing that we've said, and for about a year, I stopped saying it because there was so much spiel. And I had people come up to me and say, Pro, you got to say the line. Click it, stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell, so we're bringing it back. All right, folks, one more time, though, something we never forget. We always say it. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, Lauren, what do we say?
Keep having fun.
Why can't I go around topless anymore?
Because it's not appropriate.
Kevin Apollo isn't appropriate?
Kevin Apollo's like a Greek god. And besides, he does kind of wear shirts. Sometimes.
I mean, that kind of explains it.
I mean, technically Apollo is a Roman god borrowed from the Greeks, which makes sense, because he's powerful and has great takes.
Look, if you love Athena that much, you can marry him.
Nope, but I do plan to check out Lauren and Apollo on Tuesdays and Fridays at 11 p.m. Eastern.
Wait, Lauren's there? This is another opportunity to see if we can get him to watch the Highlander movies.